Welcome to another edition of Know Your Universe. This time we're going to explain all the times that Superman has gotten a power ring and what Elseworld stories focus on that. Now, just like Batman, Superman has never actually gotten a lantern ring outside of gaining the white ring and black ring briefly during the Blackest Night. There's just no storylines that take place during the actual DC continuity. But for those of you who don't know what happened, during the Blackest Night, anyone who ever perished in the universe gained a Black Lantern ring, so that the entity of death could control them. Once the White Lantern was discovered, those same people briefly got white rings to defeat Nekron. So since Superman has never actually had a green, red, yellow, or anything ring, why is that? Well, the running theory that I was able to find is that the rings seek out native beings for each sector, and since Superman isn't native to Earth's sector, he wasn't even considered for the ring. Also, since he's so far away from the sector of Krypton, he wasn't considered for that ring either. But what if he could be? That leads us to our first Elseworld storyline. Now, I know some of you guys are fans of Smallville like I am, but very few people are aware that the story of Smallville continued into the world of comic books following the end of the TV show. One of those comic book arcs is called Smallville Lantern. Now, the concept of this story is that it takes place right after Clark's battle with Zod, in which Clark places the Kandorians into New Krypton. With the formation of a new Kryptonian colony, the Green Lantern ring of Sector 2813 becomes active again, and it begins to seek out a host. And since they're all clones over there, it seeks out a purebred Kryptonian, which brings it all the way to Earth, where it gives the ring to Clark Kent. Well, John Stewart meets up with Clark and he trains him to become a Green Lantern. John also explains that in this universe, Hal Jordan was the first human of the Green Lantern Corps, but he became possessed by the fear entity known as Parallax, and he destroyed most of the Corps. Only a small elite squad remains to patrol the entire galaxy, and it was the Green Lantern known as Tomar Ray who was the previous owner of the ring that Clark has now. This story has John Stewart eventually losing to the influence of Parallax and the Green Lantern Corps needing to arrive to help Green Lantern Superman defeat Parallax. I don't normally read the Smallville Extended Universe comics, but this one is definitely worth picking up. Now, the other Elseworld storyline where Superman got his hands on a green ring is known as Superman, the Last Son of Earth. This is a reverse of the classic Superman storyline, in which John Kent was a brilliant scientist and discovered that Earth was going to explode, so John sent his son off into space to save him. The ship eventually lands on Krypton, and the boy Clark Kent is adopted by Jor-El. He eventually finds a Green Lantern ring and saves all of Krypton, and thanks to the ring, he learns of his origins on Earth. Well, he goes back to Earth to find some survivors, and due to the fact he grew up on Krypton with its increased gravity, he's a physical powerhouse on Earth, granting him superhuman strength, agility, and resistance to injury. Our last Elseworld storyline is actually something that's going on today and is one of the storylines that I love. It takes place in the world of Injustice: Gods Among Us. Now, before I get a bunch of comments about it, yes, we intend to 100% bring you the Injustice storylines and even the game storyline. It's being worked out as a joint effort with our gaming channel, Eligible Monster. But for those of you who don't know, Injustice is a DC fighting game in which the Joker killed Lois Lane and drove Superman to become a militaristic tyrant. In the game, the DC heroes that we know travel to that universe and they help save the day. But there's a comic book series that acts as a prequel to the video game. The comic book series was originally only going to contain the year before the game, but has turned into a continuing series with multiple arcs called Year 1, Year 2, and the currently running Year 3. During Years 2 and 3, there's a massive battle between the Green Lantern Corps and the Sinestro Corps, in which Sinestro teams up with Superman as he agrees with Superman using fear to rule Earth and prevent crime from ever happening again. The Green Lantern Corps actually does prevail in containing Superman, and they're preparing to return him to Oa to answer for his crimes on Earth when Sinestro grants Superman a yellow power ring. Superman then continues to use the yellow power ring for many of the issues until eventually Wonder Woman convinces him to take it off. Now, I'm a huge fan of this storyline, and I highly recommend anyone who's interested in the Superman Yellow Power Ring storyline to pick this one up. It takes place over the course of seasons 2 and 3. And that's all I could find for Superman getting power rings. I've looked far and wide and I was unable to find any time in canon when Superman actually got a ring. It's not like Batman where he actually got the yellow ring and the green ring and they just kind of threw them away instantly. So I hope that these Elseworld storylines will help you kind of understand Superman with a power ring and just how overpowered that can possibly be. So if you know of any other comics or Elseworld storylines where he gets one, let me know. And if there's enough info on it, we'll make a follow-up video to this one. Before I go, I want to invite you to join our community and join us at theweeklypoll.net, where you can chat with everyone from Comics Explained, TV Little House, Comic Drake, It's Super Effective, and of course Comicstorian on our forums, or you can just stay up to date with all of our channels. Also, you can follow me on Twitter so we can chat at Comicstorian, and we'll see you guys next time right here.